Hi, I'm Ellie, and this is your weekly theatre news recap, the most chaotic way to get the past week's UK touring and also West End theatre news. And if you want to stay up to date with all of that news, then you can hit subscribe because I do these every single week with varying levels of success and quality. But let's dive into this week's news. There's been a lot announced this week, a lot of really cool casting news for shows that I can't get tickets to because they've already sold out, but let's dive into it. We can start, of course, with the Joseph Tour. The Joseph Tour, heading back on tour at the end of this year, has announced their cast. It was previously announced that Donny Osmond will be playing the Pharaoh at the Edinburgh Playhouse, and Joe McKeldry would take it over for some other tour stops. These tour stops being Sunderland, Canterbury, Nottingham, Belfast, Leeds, Wimbledon, Blackpool, Woking, Newcastle, Plymouth, Leicester and Sheffield. But we now know the rest of our cast, including Cristina Bianco as the narrator. Fantastic casting, brilliant casting. Give me 20 tickets. That's fantastic. I can't believe I didn't even think of this as a possibility. And now that it's been placed in front of me, I'm like, of course Cristina Bianco is the narrator. Who else could be the narrator? We also have Alan Philippe, who will be our Joseph, along with Hugh Cotton as Reuben and Will Haswell as Simeon. We also have the rest of our cast and ensemble in the description down below, as always, including a large children's ensemble for this show. But I hear you. I know what you want. You want me to list off tour stops. Well, I'll happily do so just for you. Alright, this show will be going to Edinburgh, Oxford, Sunderland, Canterbury, Nottingham, Belfast, Manchester, Bristol, Leeds, Wimbledon, Blackpool, Norwich, Southampton, Birmingham, Woking, Newcastle, Southend, Plymouth, Leicester, Sheffield, Liverpool, Cardiff, Glasgow and Milton Keynes, running until August next year, with more dates I'm sure to be announced soon. So if you want to catch Joseph, you can catch it on any of those tour stops. Next up, another tour, Battle of Hell. Battle of Hell is heading on another UK tour, a slightly revised staging, I see. Taking a little bit more influence from the Australian tour, I'm pretty sure. We've already had the main 4 cast members announced, a lot of them returning to the show. But announced this week, we have Georgia Bradshaw, who's playing Zahara, Ryan Carter, who's playing Jaguar, Carla Bertrand, who is playing Tink, Luke Street, who is playing Ladois, and Carly Burns, who is playing Valkyrie. I do want to highlight the fact that they've seemingly, from what I can tell, have gender bent the role of Tink. Tink being the one character in this show that is hinted at being queer. Like, a lot of the plotline for Tink, and the reason that, honestly, everyone, including me, refers to this character as Twink, honestly, it was really hard not to call the character Twink as I was saying that, is because he has this whole massive plot point where he is a heavily implied crush on the leading male character in the show. I don't know if this performer is going to be playing the role as male. They use she, her pronouns, from what I can tell, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. I would find it to be a bit of a shame if the role loses that queerness, because it is the only bit of representation in that show, really. But yes, the rest of the ensemble is in the description down below for you to look at. But you want me to list off a million tour stops for this one as well? Fine, I'll do it. The Battle of Hell tour is going to Edinburgh, Portsmouth, Liverpool, Bromley, Cardiff, Birmingham, Manchester, Aberdeen, Peterborough, Cheltenham, Glasgow, Leeds, Sheffield, Woking, Plymouth, London at the Peacock Theatres, returning there yet again, Leicester, Milton Keynes, Stoke-on-Trent, High Wycombe, Southend, Sunderland, Dartford, Bristol and Northampton, running until September 2025, with more stops to be confirmed soon, I am sure. So if you want to catch Battle of Hell, you can catch it at any of those cities. Next up, Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812. This is the last piece of casting news we have this week, and honestly, I saw this cast come out and went, oh no, I don't have tickets. Oh my god, I need to get a ticket because this cast is incredible. It's sold out. It's sold out. It's completely sold out, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it, because it's sold out. I didn't need to see this musical I've been obsessed with since 2017. I didn't need to see it anyway. It's fine. It's cool. It's fine. Anyway, the cast are as follows. We have Declan Bennett, who is playing Pierre. We have Chamisa Dunford-May, who is playing Natasha. Daniel Crickler, who is playing Dolokhov. Eugene McCoy, who is playing both Prince Bolkonsky and Andre. Annette McLaughlin, who is playing Maria. Maimuna Memon, who is playing Sonia. Jamie Moscato, who is playing Anatole. Fantastic casting. Jesus Christ, perfect casting. Cedric Neal, who's playing Balaga. That's also fantastic casting. Oh my god. If I had a nickel for every time Cedric Neal played a side character it's the best song in the show, who feels like they have a much bigger role in that show, but is actually fairly minimal, I would have 3 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's also the fact that he's done it back to back to back, because he's gone from Back to the Future doing the mayor, who gets the best song and you gotta start somewhere, then doing Guys and Dolls, where he does sit down, you're rocking the boat, and now he's doing Balaga. My god, Cedric Neal. Chloe Siracco, who is playing Mary, and Kat Simmons, who is playing Helene. We also have an ensemble who will be where? The description down below. Oh my god, this cast is so good. Oh my god, this cast is so good. Oh my god, this cast is so good. And I'm so mad that it's sold out, but I'm going to have to try and get a ticket. I know they do standing tickets last second. I'm going to have to get. I know they have seats that always get sold back to the theatre. I need to see it. I wasn't quick enough. I didn't get the under 30s seats. I regret everything. But if you have tickets to Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812, I am so jealous. That is it for casting news this week. Let's head into concerts and events where we can have more casting news. I separate them so I can bamboozle you every single week, and it works every time. Let's talk about Sondheim in the City. Tony Award-nominated Broadway star Melissa Errico will be performing her concert Sondheim in the City at London's Cadogan Hall. This will be happening for one night only on Saturday the 12th of July 2025. So if you are a lover of Sondheim, as you should be, if you're watching this channel, you should love a bit of Sondheim. You can go and check out this show then. And also, is Scott Allen live, who announced some extra guests for that show happening on the 10th of November 2024. Joining the previously announced cast members will be Bradley Riches, Amber Davies, and Claudia Kariuki. That is 2 concerts at Cadogan Hall that you can check out this year and also next year, because the Sondheim one is happening in 2025, but that's okay. Next up, we have 2 pieces of miscellaneous news this week. First off, something a bit more pleasant is that Oliver has extended before opening, now extended to the 28th of September 2025. So you've got more chances to book Oliver. But some sad news that was announced this week is that the Turbine Theatre, located at Battersea Power Station, will be closing its doors. After 5 years playing in London, this December will mark the final production at the Turbine Theatre. The artistic director of the theatre, Paul Taylor Mills, has given this statement. To say I'm proud of what we achieved with the Turbine Theatre is an understatement. Just over 6 years ago, I walked into an empty railway arch at Battersea Power Station. It was leaking. There was no dressing room, no bar, a few fold-out chairs. With an equal measure of excitement and fear, we created a theatre, a magic corner in Battersea where we could create and help as many people get projects off the ground as we dared to take on. Without this noisy railway arch, there would be no My Sons Are Queer, No I Wish You Well, and many more shows. As the landscape of making theatre shifts, without serious investment, a 92-seat space just can't work, and it's time for me to focus my efforts elsewhere. The Turbine Theatre has been an absolute labour of love. It shouldn't have worked, but it did, and I'm so incredibly proud of the lives it changed and the dreams it's made come true. Creating this incredible venue with the people that believed in what it could be has been a career highlight, and I'm so thankful for the memories. I'm looking forward to focusing my attentions on my role as the artistic director at the Other Palace, where we're getting ready for the UK premiere of The Lightning Thief. I'd like to wholeheartedly thank our loyal audiences. We created a beautiful little community of theatregoers, and I know, like me, this little theatre means a huge amount to them. It's no surprise that many of the last few years' major Olivier Awards were won by shows that started life on the Fringe or off West End. This trajectory allowed them time to play, to exercise the work, and to try and make it as good as it could be. Go and support these theatres. They are the heartbeat of theatre and allow artists a safe place to dream. Come celebrate with us this Christmas as we present our final production. Thank you to everyone that believed. In the words of one of my most important mentors, Bill Kenwright, no risk, no magic. The Turbine Theatre was a lovely little space, and I think it is a shame to see it go, especially in a time where we don't have as many smaller spaces in London. Constantly pushing for new musicals, it is sad to lose another one. But as this statement makes clear, supporting these smaller venues is so important. So if you can, go out and support some of these smaller theatres. That's it for miscellaneous news. Let's talk about transfers and new productions, where we got 3 more seasons announced this week. 3 more! I thought last week, we got 3 seasons, that's a lot. And then we have 3 more this week. I'm not going to go into as much detail as I did last week, breaking them down, but I will leave a link in the description to each of the seasons' breakdown so you can read fully every single production that's heading to these venues. These venues being the Royal Court, the King's Head, and the Orange Tree Theatre. I'm going to break down a couple of productions at the Royal Court and the King's Head though, just to catch you up to date with some of the productions that are really interesting in these seasons. First off, there is a transfer from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival for A Knock on the Roof. This will be happening at the Royal Court from the 21st of February to the 8th of March. And this explores a story of survival in Gaza, where we see a protagonist preparing for an impending attack. A very modern and a very important piece of theatre. As well as this, there is a return for Sarah Kane's 4.48 Psychosis, happening from the 12th of June to the 5th of July 2025, marking the 25th anniversary of this show. The original cast and creative team are returning to dive again back into this show. And over at the King's Head, the season will be opening with Firebird, running from the 9th of January to the 9th of February. There's also a new dark comedy from Rosie Day. Rosie Day had her previous show, Instructions for a Teenage Armageddon, premiere in the West End earlier this year. And there's also going to be 3 new musicals, Stalled, The King of Pangaea, and The Show on the Roof. And over at the Orange Tree, there is a world premiere of Churchill in Moscow, happening from the 3rd of February to the 8th of March. Imagining a meeting between Winston Churchill and Joseph Stalin in World War II. And a new play written by Tanika Gupta, inspired by Henrik Ibsen's Hedda Gabler. I implore you to go check out the full seasons of these theatres in the description down below. A lot of really exciting work coming out from these off-West End venues. Moving on, we're heading up. We're going up to York, where the York Theatre Royal has announced that Gary Oldman will be returning to the stage in Samuel Beckett's Crap's Last Tape. This is running at the York Theatre Royal from the 14th of April to the 17th of May 2025, and follows Crap, an elderly man who listens to recordings of his younger self. So if you want to go see Gary Oldman on stage, you can head up to York. It's a 2-hour journey from King's Cross. I know because I lived in York for a year. As well as that, we have another Edinburgh Fringe transfer, this time Hold On To Your Butts. What a fantastic title. What do you think this show is about? It's about Jurassic Park. Yes, Hold On To Your Butts will be playing at the Arcola Theatre in London from the 10th of December to the 4th of January, and then we'll embark on a UK tour. This is a live, shot-for-shot parody of Jurassic Park, performed by 2 actors and a live Foley artist, while strictly adhering to copyright laws, which sounds chaotic and weird, and I'm kind of here for it. Jack Baldwin and Lawrence Pears will be joining the show alongside the Foley artist Charley Ives. This sounds wonderful. I'm so here for it. So if you want to catch the show, you can go to the Arcola Theatre. And finally in news this week, Lord of the Rings is back! Yes! I've been begging for this production to come back, and while it's not coming back as local as I wish it would, please come to London, or at least somewhere nearer than where you're actually going. The Lord of the Rings musical, the specific production that played at the Watermill, which has been going across the world. It was in Chicago, it's going to Australia and New Zealand. Will also be going on a European tour with a UK cast. And as part of this tour, there is one planned UK date. I'm hoping that eventually they'll add more stops, but apparently this is currently the only UK date planned. So if you want to catch the Lord of the Rings musical, you got to go to Plymouth. Yes, From the 4th to the 11th of October 2025, the Theatre Royal Plymouth will be home to Lord of the Rings musical. So if you missed it, you can go and see it there, which I'm going to have to try and do. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to have to try, because that production was beautiful. And that is all your theatre news for this week. I'm hoping nothing comes out after I film this, because it's currently about 4 o'clock on Friday the 18th, because I'm at MusicalCon this weekend. If you've met me at MusicalCon, if you've met me at Mickey Joe's live show, let me know. Say hello. Hi. I don't know what day this is coming out, Saturday or Sunday. I don't know what I'm doing at the moment when this comes out. I might be in the middle of Mickey's show. I might be in the middle of recovering from day one of MusicalCon. I don't know. We'll find out. But let me know all your thoughts on this week's news in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps out the channel. Here's some links to some other videos on screen right now, and a link to my Instagram if you would like to drop me a follow over there. I also have other social links and a merch store in the description down below. But that's it for me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!